This is the Nourished Brain Podcast, where we explore the art and science of nutrition for brain health and mental well-being. The information provided in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. I'm your host, Sarah Thompson-Fajera. Let's get started. Hey there, welcome back to the Nourished Brain Podcast. This is your host, Sarah, and this episode is timely because it is the beginning of October when I'm recording this, and I thought it was the best time to talk about fall spices, the ones we know and love, including those that are in pumpkin spice, for those of you who are into that, and the connection to brain health. Talking about how some of these fall spices that are so aromatic and so comforting can actually support our mood and our memory. So why would spices matter for brain health? Let me give you a little bit of the background here. Our bodies can experience both chronic inflammation and also something called oxidative stress, both of which are implicated in brain-related concerns, including Alzheimer's dementia and also major depressive disorder. But nature has provided us with these built-in defenses in the plants that we eat, in plant foods that we eat, called polyphenols. Some of these polyphenols that give fruits, vegetables, beans, herbs, spices, etc., their color, their aroma, actually seem to protect the brain structure and communication systems. In fact, there was a meta-analysis, a collection of studies from 2020. They looked at 37 human trials and found that people who ate more flavonoid-rich foods, and flavonoids are a type of polyphenol, like colorful fruits and tea, cocoa, and spices, had better cognitive function and lower odds of dementia. Those with the highest flavonoid intake had up to a 27% lower risk of cognitive decline. And a 2022 paper in Frontiers in Pharmacology specifically summarized the kitchen to clinic potential of common Indian spices, i.e. turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon, all of which we'll talk about today, showing how their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects may help protect the brain as we age. So today, let's explore some of these spices in more detail. What the research is saying, ways to add them in to your meals and your day-to-day routine. Cinnamon feels like the place to start. The classic cinnamon. Cinnamon has these compounds called cinnamaldehyde and also proanthocyanidins that seem to improve how our neurons, our brain cells, handle glucose. And in a recent study published in Nutritional Neuroscience in 2023, those who took cinnamon, who supplemented with cinnamon, showed improvements in working memory and visual motor speed. So basically their brains were processing faster. Another human study found that cinnamon helps improve insulin sensitivity and blood sugar regulation, which is tied to mental energy and focus, because a steady supply of glucose through blood sugar stability is going to ensure that your brain has that consistent source of fuel. I'm sure you have a number of ideas already of how to use cinnamon, but thinking about sprinkling it into your morning coffee, a hot cereal, a pumpkin smoothie, all nice options. A little tip would be to look for Ceylon cinnamon, if you can find it, if it's affordable for you. Maybe better for longer term and regular use. Next up is turmeric. Turmeric for brain protection. Love turmeric. It's that golden spice, the root, the rhizome, that's been used for centuries in Ayurvedic medicine traditions. The active component that seems to be so protective in turmeric is called curcumin, and we have pretty solid human evidence showing that it positively can influence mood and cognitive function. For example, there was a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study where 56 people with major depressive disorder took either 500 milligrams of curcumin twice daily or a placebo for 8 weeks. And both groups improved over the first 4 weeks, but from weeks 4 to 8, the curcumin group pulled ahead, showing significantly greater improvements in mood, overall depressive symptoms, especially among those with atypical depression. And there's another study that I'm aware of that shows that curcumin may improve working memory and attention in older adults. Mechanistically, curcumin is thought to reduce neuroinflammation or brain inflammation and boost levels, perhaps, of brain-derived neurotropic factor, BDNF, which is sometimes dubbed miracle grow for the brain, is considered a key molecule for learning and for brain plasticity, neuroplasticity. And turmeric is so versatile, adding it to roasted vegetables, soups, curries, whisking it into a golden milk latte. Wherever you can combine it with a source of brain-nourishing fats, and ideally a little bit of black pepper if you can. If you are supplementing, be aware that certain forms of curcumin are better absorbed than others, so I would check with a healthcare practitioner you trust to guide you there if you're supplementing. The third one up is ginger, and it's so zesty and warm, and it's one of those that provides really a number of benefits. You may have used it before to calm digestion. If you're having a little bit of a stomach ache or feeling a little bit nauseous. Above and beyond that, though, ginger does seem to support brain function and overall reaction time. A study in middle-aged women found that daily ginger extract for 2 months led to measurable improvements in working memory and reaction time. And that suggests that ginger can enhance cognitive performance, possibly through antioxidant and anti-inflammatory actions. You can grate ginger root into soups, stir fries, smoothies, ginger teas. You can just slice it up and boil it with some water and make tea that way. Just some ideas there for ginger. And lastly, I wanted to feature cardamom. Cardamom also has some digestive health benefits like ginger does, and is now also being looked at for its antioxidant and neuroprotective effects. Cardamom has essential oils within it called monoterpenes. And these monoterpenes seem to protect cells from oxidative damage or oxidative stress. In a rat model, cardamom extract has helped to reduce markers of brain inflammation and has even interfered with the formation of amyloid beta plaques, the same hallmark being in Alzheimer's disease. And, with this one, while we need more human research, certainly, the early findings are promising. And since cardamom is one of these culinary spices that is so easy to incorporate into the kind of flavor profiles of fall, I think it's a pretty safe and easy addition to a brain-friendly kitchen. And this is a great one, of course, in chai with baked fruits, baked pears, baked apples, like cinnamon would be as well. It could go really nicely in a homemade granola to give it really that extra kick that you might be looking for if you like those types of flavors. It pairs really well with cinnamon. It's so interesting to think about seasonal rhythms, incorporating more of certain spices at different times of the year, and then maybe rotating in new ones that also have brain protective effects in different seasons. The key here is to begin building habits, certain dishes, foods, recipes, beverages. If you're interested in some of these brain protective benefits, creating a small ritual like an evening golden milk with the turmeric, or spiced oatmeal in the morning that has some cardamom, creating more curries this time of year, all really practical ways. So next time you reach for one of these fabulous fall spices, just remind yourself, you're not just adding flavor, but you are feeding your brain. Well done. Thank you for listening to the Nourished Brain Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who could use it. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and stay nourished.